Good evening, everybody. We'll go ahead and call our meeting to order. And briefly, before we do the moment of silence and pledge of allegiance, I just want to explain the difference between public dialogue and public comment. Some people have been confused. Public comments will be for if you have something that is just a statement you want to make and doesn't require a response, or if it's something that might require a response that would take some research to do, I would rather you do that as a normal public comments. The dialogue is more to have an open dialogue about things that are perhaps on your mind, and we'll try to speak freely as best we can with what we know about the subject. But that would be the difference. So if you think you have something that would be more suitable for public comments, do that under public comments. Otherwise, we'll do it under the public dialogue. But okay, let's go ahead and let's have our moment of silence. Let's all stand for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next we'll have approval of the agenda.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, upon looking at the agenda, I'd like to add an item to the agenda. I would like to add solar farm ordinance update, as we stated, and let that be item number right after the conflict of interest statement, if the board is okay.
Okay. You make that in the form of a motion?
Making that, yeah, yes, sir, Mr. Chair.
Have a second? I'll second. Any discussion? Not all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, Barnex Taylor.
Aye. Motion is carried. Agenda is approved as amended. Next, we will have our conflict of interest statements.
In accordance with the rules and procedures adopted by this board and Section 153A-44 of the North Carolina General Statutes, it is the duty of every member present to vote on all matters coming before the board unless there is a conflict of interest as determined by the board or by law. Does any board member have a conflict of interest with respect to any agenda item coming before the board today? If so, please identify the conflict and the board will consider the matter. No conflict, Mr. Chairman.
No conflict.
No conflict. No conflict, Barnex Taylor.
No conflict. Okay, so the next item will be the added item for the update on the solar ordinance.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. The information received is that, we sent information out to an attorney, and I'd like to ask Mr. McKellar to give us the update on where we are in the process of moving along.
Yes, so as recommended by several citizens, the law firm of Brian Bryce, I believe his principal office is located in Raleigh, North Carolina. I've had several conversations with Mr. Bryce, who's expressed his interest in assisting the county in the review of its solar farm ordinance. We have been waiting on his proposed engagement terms. Today, I corresponded with Mr. Bryce saying we needed to move this along. This was not the first request, but he assured me that tomorrow we would have his proposed engagement letter, which will come before the board, hopefully at your next meeting. That's all I have. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Any board members have any questions for the attorney? All right, we'll look forward to seeing the letter with the terms. All right, next is our public dialogue session. Okay, do we have anyone signed up for the public dialogue, or? Okay. Okay. If you've got something that's just a comment or a statement you want to make, that can be done as a normal public comments. Or if you're asking for some information that would take some research to do or something like that that we can't just discuss, then I would prefer you do that as a public comment. If it's just something that we have questions about that we may be able to answer just off the top of our head, that would be the type of things for public dialogue.
As a reminder, Mr. Chairman, this is the format we use at the work session, and I do believe some of our citizens in the audience was there, and we had it at the Hampton Inn, and they said it was very good dialogue, that we responded immediately versus waiting for a response in the form of a letter from the board, and we stated that we would continue this process quarterly. And if we look at that, we would love to continue it quarterly by starting it this evening, where there's a question from the audience, you'll receive immediate feedback versus in comments, you wait for a letter of response.
Thank you for that clarity, Commissioner Edwards, because I was a little confused.
Yes, ma'am.
How, if like, I'm just using, for example, if Mrs., I'm going to pick on Ms. Benson, if Ms. Sylvia Benson wishes to come up and dialogue right now with our board, how was she to do that? Is she to come to the podium now, and to just speak to us openly as she would in public comments? How would she to do that? How does a citizen do that? What is the format?
Yes,
I
you
guess I'm a
can,
little confused.
you can come to the podium just so we can hear you better.
Okay.
And people that are watching it. Yes.
Okay.
I went ahead, I was getting involved with recreation and just doing different things with kids in Northampton for about 11 years. I understand that there is not a rec center, YMCA thing of that nature is really kind of off the picture because of the cost. I have had a conversation with Dr. Atkins, superintendent of Northampton County Schools, as far as what was going to happen with the current high school building that is in Gaston. From my conversation with her, my understanding is that they do not plan to have any classes in that building at all. They don't plan to be doing anything in that building. I talked to Dr. Edwards as well. One of the things that we would like to do as we are preparing is be able to step into that building when the school system steps out of that building. We have seen in Northampton County where we've had buildings, they begin to sit and sit. Before we know it, they just deteriorate. They seem to go down quicker than houses that, those issues that happen in Northampton County with these air properties. Some of the things that we would like to see happen is, some of the things that was proposed for the Edwards Beach site is having a police substation right there in the town of Gaston for the sheriff's department. Also, one of the other things that's needed with the housing community there, which is Greenwood Terrace, not the projects. One of my close friends pointed that out to me. He said, if you keep saying that, you'll have that state of mind. But if you address it as Greenwood Terrace, then you can get a sense of ownership and self-worth. There are a lot of people there that do need assistance as far as food or health benefits. So with having Ms. Taylor here, possibly having a substation for social services there as well. Even where I live, we don't like driving to Jackson too high. And even going up to Edwards Beach would be too much, so having that in Gaston is something. I have had discussions with a couple of women as far as trying to have space to do some things to work with our kids, mentoring for our etiquette for our young ladies and men are some things that are on the table. Trying to find space to do those things is of the essence, and being able to have a building of that size would be very helpful. Like I said, we have been doing recreation, which has been basically pointed at football and basketball for a long time. One of our coaches, Colin Sneed, who was an assistant with the high school, he went to Bertie, came back to the high school. He's now back in Jackson with the rec league, Jackson Pirates. They will be playing in Galveston on Saturday at 9 a.m. to be the Galveston Buckeyes and Jackson Pirates. If you've been around for a while, you know those two teams played each other, and we taught kids how to play football. And because of those games and because of the education that they got at that young level, that's what led the kids to that last run at the state championship. So we're trying to get that back, and we really need to be able to continue with the football and the basketball. Having a conversation with Mr. Williams, he was trying to get soccer going, but with the things that was going in our communities, we had a lot of kids that wouldn't show up for school anymore. We're also trying a track club, and we've had interest with baseball. Mr. Mac Powell was trying to get that going before he was tragically taken away from us. So these are just a few of the things that we have going. We do have some other things that we want to have happen out of that building. We do want to be able to get in there as soon as we can, and we understand that there's an upbid process, but it would be nice if there could be some conversation between the Board of County Commissioners and the Board of Education to try to get those things moving along. The one thing that is very important, the most important thing is, we would definitely need the county to own that building. There is no way that any nonprofit that we have could afford the maintenance that goes along with having that building. If it's resurfacing the parking lot, a chiller, boiler, roof leak, things of that nature, things will go south very quickly. So, that's my 2 cents.
Okay.
Any questions for me?
Anyone have any questions? I know we have had some conversations before about using that school as some, it's a, I hate to see a resource go to waste, and so.
It's a very nice school. We've had,
And it would,
I constantly have people coming at me, Richie, we need to do this. Okay. I can help you get in the door, but I need you to be a factor in this. So a lot of the things that's happening, we have parents coming along now that are stepping up to be the leadership in those things, and we're just trying to make sure that they have the insurance in place, understanding facility use forms and things of that nature, the cost that goes along with it, understanding the back office side of managing a business, because those things are businesses. So we're educating people in a lot of different ways, and that's something that we want to continue out of that building. There's an auditorium there that we need to use for more than funerals as well as also.
You're right, and absolutely to your point, Ms. Harding, it has tennis courts, baseball, softball. It's a comprehensive high school, track, and it could be definitely something added to the community, and use is very good, because to the point that you brought out, an old school building does deteriorate fast if no life is in it. And that is a conversation we appreciate you bringing to the podium, and that this board is definitely having.
The tennis courts, I had my son, my nephews up there. We cleaned it up. We got the grass off the fences. Mr. Tyreek Mitchell is over at Recreation Department. He's gonna get some nets ordered so we can get some kids doing some different things. We gotta get away from those two basic things and give other kids an opportunity to do some things.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good dialogue.
Good afternoon. My name is Sylvia Benson, and I was thinking along the lines with Brother Harding, and he has really presented to you what is the need for the county and on our end. But my question is, I know that you're talking and you're saying that, yeah, that's a good idea. But, I mean, will you agree to make that step for us instead of just listening and talking about it? We need someone to really step up to the plate to look out for us instead of just listening, and then later on, nothing has been done. I'm just adding that to what he had already said.
yes, we will have to have the conversation with school, because a lot of people don't understand. They own the school, we don't, so. But I do know they would probably like to see it used also. We'd have to have the discussions with them on how to transition it over to the county, would they want any money for it, so forth, but. Yes. Mhm.
Because I know we spoke about part of initiatives like that being a part of our strategic plan, because I know, at the Rich Square Creasy site, we're going through some of those similar things. The citizens, in that area of our county, are needing some activities there for our youth as well as our senior citizens. And when we had our retreat, to Dr. Edwards' point, and we had the open dialogue, we really got a lot of feedback from citizens. So I definitely agree that we need to take some steps forward, because I know with that particular site, at the Creasy site, it's been at a standstill for quite some time. So one of the things I'm looking forward to doing in the new year, once we get through elections and all that sort of thing next week, is to have some type of informational session in that community so they can talk about what we're planning on doing with that building, because you're right to Mr. Harding's point, when buildings sit, they become vandalized, they go down, and it doesn't look good for the community. But I definitely think in our strategic plan, we need to look at areas across the county so that we can have activities and recreation for our youth as well as our senior citizens, because that is who's populating a good amount of our communities and wanting to do something around it. So I'm looking forward to taking those steps, as you just said, about that. But I see some of the Rich Square citizens, and I know that we talk quite often all the time about what we would like to see in that area, and not just talking, but putting some action steps behind it, and not just being at a standstill.
And I agree with Mr. Whitaker. We need to look at youth and the adults too. So we really need to support people in Northampton County. It doesn't matter what age. We really need to step up and keep this county moving with young people and the elderly. So let's work hard to keep things going for our county, recreational wise.
I think what I heard from Ms. Vincent is, I'm tired of y'all talking the talk, but not walking the walk. And I'm growing very impatient with that. I'm tired of y'all just talking that talk, and things aren't getting done. It's like moving an elephant on a cold day across the snow. And things need to get done. Things don't happen fast enough here in the county. You come up with good ideas. You nod and agree with me and with our citizens, but we need to see some change happening around up in here. And that's what it comes down to. And it seems like even from where we sit, I'm talking about me, I can't be responsible for anybody else. It takes a long time to just get anything done. So I'm hearing you say that get it done. Stop talking the talk, but walk the walk. Do what you say you're gonna do, if I'm hearing correctly. I got you. I got you, Ms. Vincent.
And we do hear you, but like I say, in regard to the school, they're still probably a year away from the building being available even, so, you know.
Yeah.
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 Right.
Just see some steps done. Yeah, just do something. If you don't do anything but move a trash can, do something. I got you, Ms. Vincent. Have a plan. Have a plan.
August 2026, yes, sir. Right. Yes, sir. So, Ms. Vincent, that conversation was initially started when the school was asking for the money for the new school, is when that conversation was first held about what are you going to do with the other school that once it's closed. And so that conversation has been in the wind probably for several months. Because we know August 2026, like the new school is slated to open. Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Alan Tashima speaking again. I just wanted to bring up some suggestions and things to help also some of the other people on what they're seeing is no movement. And everybody knows that I've always been harping on fiduciary requirements and how well the board spends the money. And what I've come across for the last 2.5 years is it doesn't seem, and don't take this wrong because this is my interpretation of the timelines. The board is not given hardly any time to review a budget. Okay, there's supposed to be a workshop, which I have never seen, and there should be more interaction between the board and the county manager. The other thing too is that the board should be putting out guidance to the county manager. I've never seen any guidance come out from the county managers. I have asked a question on what guidance is put out for the yearly budgets. I got back, I put out a call for what is your inputs for your budget. That's not guidance. That's a free-for-all. That's like telling my daughter, what do you want for your allowance? Wrong, okay? There should be coming out from the board examples, and I've been harping on this, how we spend the money. There should be an immediate guidance, 10% cut in operating expenses, because I have gone through the operating budget, and I do know the operating budget is overbloated. There should also be things that we could take a look at to do, what's the return on investment or the business case? And one of the ones that I'm very familiar with is the Economic Business Development Council and the business director. And the reason why I'm very familiar with that is that when I first came down here, I volunteered, submitted my 4-page resume of my business development. I have 25 years of business development. Okay, I've brought in $28 million 1 year from my old company. I brought in $11 billion over a 16-year time frame for one of my companies, and so on and so forth. My resume, I gather, must have been overqualified. But then there came out is that the reason why I wasn't going to be considered is that the board was not following policies. By the definition of the statement of objectives for the Economic Business Development Council, there's supposed to be one representative from each district and a couple at large. The district that I'm in, which is the largest district and brings in the most money, there were already 3 people there. Already broke the processes. So anyway, you can get rid of the Business Development Office, because in 2.5 years, some of you can shoot me, you can argue with me, I'll just bring up facts, okay? What have they done? What's the return on investment or business case of what they've done, all right? This year's budget for the Economic Business Development Commission was $500,000. Whoa. It came up from $250,000 over the years. And part of the money, we found out, had little bits in there that I don't think the board knew the details below the line. One of the ones that I brought up was they awarded a contract to a company out of state to come up with a business plan, an education on how to sell Northampton County to businesses. You're going to go out and ask another state to come in and do the work. You should have hired the right people. They should have already done it, okay? That was $25,000, and they're going to come up with an education plan. All right, so you could, that's $500K that you could take out of the budget, all right? We need to start giving back to the citizens. If you need money for, and I'm pushing it with Mr. Edwards, is to not use Edwards Beach, but use the school that you already mentioned. Use the school. Reuse things. Don't build again. All right? You can take the $500,000. wipe out that entire office and use that for operations and maintenance. There's a lot of ways you can take a look at your budget, but I think the board needs to take the bull by its horns. There should be, you don't have to answer any of these questions, I'll see it when it comes out, is guidance to the county manager, because he's technically not held accountable. He's not an elected official. And you already tried to kick him out. You were one vote short, no confidence, all right? And he told me, he personally puts it in writing, and I get it, there is no slush fund in the county budget. But the finance director, on the 2 meetings ago, put out a PowerPoint slide that says the county is sitting on approximately $4 million cash reserve as of the end of August, and about, if I remember correctly off the top of my head, $30 million in a money market account, okay? That money could be going to the citizens to lower the tax rate. So anyway, I know I've rambled on. I just wanted to bring you up to speed on some of the things that, my perspective, it's free advice. You can take it or leave it, but then I'll still be here bringing up things. Thank you.
I just got an email today from the county manager talking about that we need to schedule a budget retreat to start working on things. So we are going to be doing that in January or February. So that is, the discussions are beginning for that already. And also, the Economic Development Office does a lot of things that you don't see because of the way of economic development. It's not publicized until something is finalized. There's a lot of things that go on when companies are looking to come here that is not publicized for the very reason that it could jeopardize the chance of getting an opportunity to come here. So I don't think we can just do away with that office. We're working on stuff.
And so, Mr. Shima, Mr. Bennett does come before the dais, the podium, and gives us the economic development update. And I know the next meeting is scheduled for November the 18th. It was going to be on the 4th. Yes, sir. It was going to be on the 4th, but tomorrow is local election day. And so as you look at what the conversation has been about Alpha Exit 176, sewer lines running up 46, all of the things are economic development updates. And again, using the word transparency. And when you talk about the money in a county, well, a county has to have emergency funds. When the hurricane season.
Not telling the truth of how much money the county has in emergency funds. I agree with you. And that's what I've always brought up. How do you pay your bills for the first part of the fiscal year if you don't have any money coming in? It says there on the finance services operating funds. Okay, so it's there. I understand that. But nobody says that. All it says is there's no such thing. I have that in writing. We don't have extra money on hand. We don't have cash reserves. And when I'm reading this thing, $30 million in a money market account.
We can clear that up, Mr. Tashima. You want to?
I can briefly just mention that, and I recall responding to that document as far as a slush fund is concerned. And I'll say for all the citizens, we do not have a slush fund. Can I speak? Can I speak? I've allowed you to speak. Just allow me to speak too. We do not have a slush fund. And I respect you. I would expect that you would respect me too. But I believe the $4 million that, or $3 million that Leslie showed on the graph the other day, that's your working capital. We're collecting monies every day. Taxes are being collected every day. That's working capital. As far as the $30 million is concerned, at the end of the year, you get a report from the auditors that shows how much is actually in the general fund, how much of that is committed funds, and how much is uncommitted funds. It's in the reports.
It's in the report.
I mean, I'm not going to argue back and forth. It's in the reports. It can be verified. I don't have a reason to tell a lie. It's in the reports. The numbers are in the audit reports. That's an independent audit firm that gives that report. They don't report to Julian Phillips. They report to the LGC. They report to the government. They report to the board. So I'm not doing anything different than other counties are doing as far as reporting the numbers. And numbers, first of all, comes directly from the finance department, which I don't manage. So that's independent, except for when we didn't have a finance officer, then I was over that. I did double duty. So she works for me, but I'm talking about the actual work of recording assets and liabilities is the finance officer as far as the general statutes is concerned. Now, if I'm the interim finance officer, then that's my responsibility. But the bottom line is those numbers are backed up in the audit report. We get an independent auditor to come in and state that for us. And it's easy to just put out and say slush funds and then run out, but I'm glad about having this type of dialogue. I don't have anything to hide. I will show all the numbers. My door is open to anyone who wants to see those numbers, who wants to go and talk to our auditors. That number is available.
And sir, in my comment, I said, I used the wrong word. Slush fund reserve. Reserve is a good thing. Operating budget, cash on hand is a good word. But you never acknowledge that. Okay? I'm just saying, I have.
I answered your question. You made an allegation about slush funds.
Then you could say,
And I answered your questions. There is no such things as a slush fund.
All right,
I know what a
let's-
slush fund is. I know the terminology of a slush fund.
Okay,
And I answered your question
okay.
professionally.
Enough of the slush funds and super secret funds and all these terms that I've heard used over the time. That's called fund balance. And we had allotted 20 minutes for our public dialogue. We have now gone to 25. I will allow one more, okay?
Since I was the first one to sign up. I'm going to be very brief,
Okay.
surprisingly. I'm just want to talk on communications right quick like. I don't know if I'm the only citizen in the county that can send the board an email and not get a response or not even get an acknowledgement that you received the email. I think especially if it's one of your constituents, if they send you an email and ask a question, they ought to get some kind of, yes, I got your email, I understand what you're talking about, something, but I get nothing. Let me give you a classic example. When we get the issue of solid waste fees came up, and after the presentation on that, and the comment was made that the only way that can be fixed was to raise the fees on the people who are paying their fees because of the ones who don't raise their fees and wait until the next budget cycle. I sent each one of you an email, and I told you, I said it can be done this year, and I know how to do it. Not one commissioner asked me how. So I haven't responded, but it can be done. So communications, and the only other thing I would suggest is that when it comes to this, we have our comments before the dialogue, because the comments could very well lead into something someone wants to have a dialogue on. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. All right. That will conclude our public dialogue session. Is anyone signed up for the traditional public comments?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Citizens, when you're recognized, please approach the podium. Your comments will be limited to 5 minutes. The chair will cut off all speakers exceeding their allotted time. If you have any questions of the board, you'll receive a response from the board or county staff. The board will not respond or otherwise engage in a dialogue with you during your allotted time. And pursuant to North Carolina law, this time is allotted on the agenda for public commentary on county business. This is not an open forum to be publicly critical of the performance of any county commissioner or county employee, and the chair will maintain the order and decorum of the meeting. Commissioners, I have two citizens who signed up. First, Mr. Earl Daniels.
Okay.
Maybe I should have stayed up here. My subject tonight is going to probably make a lot of you happy, because will be my farewell remarks to the board. I may come to meetings, but this will be my farewell remarks, and let me comment on that. My message this evening is to the YouTube viewers and the citizens in attendance. Know that while I pay county taxes, the only county service I occasionally use is the landfill, a service which I pay for at the time I use it. Over the past year, at the request of a number of citizens and some county employees, I have brought to your attention what I believe to be violations of state law, violations of contract law, violations of county policy, employees without qualifications for the job, and in one case, employees lacking a state-required certification. I have presented what I believe to be clear evidence of fraud, waste, and abuse of county resources. I just did the research. This is not self-generated. The issues were brought to me by citizens and in some cases employees. I just did the research, confirmed their suspicions or knowledge, and made the presentation. At the end of each commissioners meeting, the commissioners politely thank all for attending, state they have heard what has been said, and wish all a safe journey home. At the last meeting, a commissioner even commented that a lot of positive things were happening in the county. When I asked him to name one, he couldn't. To the contrary, I haven't seen that many positive changes. I think we all know, and we've talked about it here earlier, there's a difference between hearing and listening. Serious listening results in actions. I'm reminded of a boss I once had who had a reputation of making decisions without the facts, or without all the facts. One of his favorite expressions to the staff was, quote, "Don't confuse me with the facts because I've already made up my mind." I'm pleased to report that in Special Operations Forces, one only gets promoted to their level of incompetence. I hope that proves true with the re-election of the county commissioners. I sincerely apologize to those who trusted me with their concerns for which I was unable to deliver positive results. I think my time would have been better spent at Boone's Mule Pond and delivering my presentation to 5 turtles sitting on a floating log. And while we may not have won this battle, know the war is only a few months away. Rest assured, I pledge to you that I will do my due diligence to win the war with the coming election. I hope you will do the same. After a year of research, preparations, and restless nights, I've come to accept the fact that in order for the county to obtain its full potential, there needs to be a recomposition of the board. No, I will do my part in that endeavor, and again, I hope you will the
Getting a
same.
little bit into the
It is imperative we
public
win the war to
criticism
save the
of the
future of our
officials,
county and
Mr.
our home.
Daniels.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Sylvia Vincent.
Good afternoon again to Northampton County Board of Commissioners and to the citizens of Northampton County. I'm before you tonight to express a few concerns. The first one I have is about the deal made between the economic developer, the commissioners, and the Sun Energy One. And I must say, you did not consider the Voltaire community when you made that deal. We have been coming here for months and months and months, complaining and complaining about how they have destroyed the landscape, the animal habitats, and how they have put us in danger health-wise. After all we have been through and still dealing with them, we get a slap in the face. You approved the deal they brought to the table, and you decided to use it for something else, an EMS building, if I'm correct. Something that you wanted, but it is of no benefit to our community. Once past the town of Gaston or I-95, consider it another community who will be reaping the benefits. With the amount of money they promised to invest, why couldn't you come to the table with the citizens of the Voltaire community and ask for suggestions as how some of this money could be used in our area, rather than doing what you want to do with it? But you decided on your own. The Voltaire community is standing alone in this county. This is a disastrous place to live, and I hope that you all are coming up there to see what is going on. But most are like me. I can't afford to move anywhere else. And I would like to know, what did you give up to get this deal? From my understanding, when a deal is made, it is scripted and signed by the county manager. Mr. Phillips, I would like to make an appointment with you to view the signed agreement with Sun Energy and Northampton County that was created by the county and Sun Energy. My second concern, it was addressed by the attorney, and I was going to bring up some information. I was going to bring up that concern because I hadn't seen any movement at all with this county ordinance. It's been a while, and I haven't seen anything. Nothing. No one has told us anything about how it's going, and it's been a long time. And here again, I don't think the proper steps have been made. I don't think that you're going at it the way that it should be going. You should be going after it because it's so important. It's very important to us. Last, not only from solar farms, I want to make sure you do it right, but the solar farms and commercialized businesses are trying to infiltrate this county. Now, on top of the solar farms that's in our area, a chicken farm is directly in front of me. Okay, there's a smell now, okay, if you've ever been around them. From information that I have found out, and the name of that chicken farm is Braswell Farms. And the information that I have found out, the 544 acres that I mentioned at the last meeting that had been purchased, and from information that I have heard, that they purchased that 544 acres of land. So will Braswell Farm add more to Cherry Tree Road? That is my concern. The Board of Commissioners should not allow any plans, decisions, or collaboration done without the board meeting or hearing all of it. And there has been some input from the community that might be affected before it's brought before the board to vote on. The last meeting, our developer came and presented a plan that had already been talked about from Sun Energy. With all this money, we didn't know a thing about it. Nothing about this money. Already planned what you're going to do with it. You know, it really broke my heart because of the fact that we have been begging and begging and begging and begging for them and you all to help us out with the smoke and everything else. But I didn't see any type of steps made there. But then when they come to you with a bribe, then you fall for it. And it wasn't done fairly. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is Department of Social Services matters.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I was asked to come and do a couple of updates. So I'm going to talk about several programs that we have and some of the things that are going on. This afternoon, we received some information regarding the SNAP benefits. I don't have a lot of details, but I will share what I know. The Trump administration says it will restart SNAP food benefits but it will pay out only half of the amount that people would normally get. The administration says it will use the money from Agriculture Department contingency funds. The $5 billion in the Agriculture Department contingency funds falls short of the full cost of SNAP benefits, which is $8 billion each month. In a court filing, officials said depleting that fund means no funds will remain for new SNAP applicants certified in November, disaster assistance, or as a cushion against the potential catastrophic consequences of shutting down SNAP entirely. There could be a lengthy delay before benefits get put into hands of low-income families who depend on SNAP to put food on their table. Currently, Northampton County has approximately 2,000, and I said it wrong the last time because I said number of people, but we have approximately 2,464 cases, which equates to the amount of approximately 4,000 plus citizens in Northampton County that receive SNAP benefits. Any questions on that? No. Okay. The crisis program. This program assists with paying heating sources such as gas bills, electric bills, wood, and kerosene. We have some money left from the cooling allotment. So every July we get a new allotment. And so we did spend most of the money, but we still have a few $1,000s left. So we've turned that over starting today for heating, because normally we try to wait where the temperature is at least 40 degrees for 3 consecutive days before we turn it over to heating. So now we're in the heating process, but the only money that we have is what was left over from the winter, from the summer for cooling. So with that being said, we're not sure if we're going to receive any more money. Last year we received some in the month of May, June, and we have to use it by July. So I'm not sure what we're going to receive, but whatever we have right now, we're going to spend. So if you know anybody that needs assistance, then send them our way. But once that money is depleted, it's gone. Any questions on that? Next, we have the Low Income Energy Assistance Program. Now, with that being said, the only allocation that we have received will go towards the automatic payment for elderly, 60 and older. But if the allotted funds are depleted before all of those payments have been dispersed, then some people may not receive it. This money is handled by the state, so it is sent to all of the departments of North Carolina, all of the Department of Social Services. But even though, like, we might get $300,000, and then by December, so it comes and we spend it on the elderly December 1st, but we might get $300,000, but on December 1st, when that money comes in, it's going directly straight into the accounts of those people who received it last year. So if it runs out, then whoever didn't receive it won't receive it, and we're not going to get any more. If it does not run out, whatever we have left will go, we start with everyone else other than the elderly come January 1st. But we did not receive additional monies from that last year, so I'm not sure if we'll receive it. And that was due to the hurricane, so I'm not sure if we will receive anything else. So to help out with that, so we have moratoriums. So moratorium started today for Dominion, people who have Dominion, and it will start on December 15th for those who are with REA. This means you have to meet the requirements for the LEAP program, which is income eligible program, and be 65 years or older. They must have a documented disability, Social Security disability, or 100% VA. If approved, your lights will not be disconnected from the date of approval through March 31st. But this does not mean that you should not pay your bill, because once April gets here, you're going to be responsible for paying the entire bill. And if you don't pay your bill, your lights will more than likely be disconnected, and we will not have the money to assist you. DSS, we do have a list of resources, which includes shelters, food banks, mental health agencies, senior apartments, transportation, and other resources. And I do have a copy of that, and if anybody wants one, please contact social services, and we can email it to you or we can send it to you. The last thing is our Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we're getting ready for Thanksgiving for seniors, and our Christmas program for children. We are seeking donations for, if you know anyone, or we are seeking donations to assist with helping families either for Thanksgiving or for Christmas. You can call and ask to sponsor a child or a family. And, or you can make a monetary donation. And if you make a monetary donation in the memo box, please put donation for children's Christmas so we can put it on the right line item. And then if you know someone in your community that needs assistance for Christmas, please send them our way. What we need is we're going to need their names, the parents' names. Well, they have to sign up themselves, but we need the parents' names, the children's names, their clothes sizes, shirts, pants, shoe sizes, and what they want for Christmas within reason. Don't put an X box up there because they will not get it. You can put, I just want you to know that we are here. We are going to try to help to the best of our ability. This is something that we do every year. It's not just this year. And for Thanksgiving, if you know a family that's truly in need, that needs help for Thanksgiving, if we, normally it's like we have a lot of, well, I won't say a lot. We have some donations, and we do normally focus on the seniors, but we will, if there's a family that's in need, we will assist them as well. Any questions? Concerns or comments?
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Taylor, for that great update, especially when it comes to this trying times, especially when citizens receive word that SNAP benefits were going to be absolutely nothing. And now we're finding out as of today that they'll get half. Is that correct?
That's what was told to us today. Now, that's what we were sent that email, yes.
Yeah.
So.
But the first communication was for the month of November, there would be
We're not going
zero.
to get anything, correct. So I don't know when exactly it's going to be put on their cards,
Right.
but that is what's coming down the pipeline, so.
I know I saw that on the news, but y'all have actually gotten confirmation of that.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah, we got the email today, so, yes. So I'm just praying. I mean, a little bit is better than none.
Absolutely, especially coming up on the holidays. And in several conversations with, Commissioners, Dr. Whitaker spearheading, what can we do? Because when that news hit, it was devastating.
Yes.
And we immediately started getting calls and wanted to give citizens feedback. I guess, Dr. Whitaker,
Yeah, and I appreciate that, Dr. Edwards, and also thank you, Ms. Taylor, for the update. So as I was, going through and talking to different citizens last week as they reached out to me or whatever the case is, and just some shared with me about the SNAP benefits, hardship. Then we have some working families, single parents who their insurance premiums are going up. Some of their children lost their benefits, and so that's created a hardship of trying to get them to the doctor or whatever the case is. And so, and just having conversation, with commissioners and we were communicating quite frequently last week and just wondering what can we do, because we realize that we've got the issue with the SNAP benefits, and then we also have the issue as far as families and low-income families, and even your families that are above the low-income threshold, they're helping other family members who are having hardships as well. So it's all interconnected, and so we were just trying to think about what are some of the things that we can do. So some of the citizens said, well, what about if you guys could, work with different townships, provide turkeys to each township and just, have them available, a certain number available for citizens, and be like on a first come, first served basis, because some individuals, we understand they may be ashamed of not wanting to come forth, but if it's open for everybody, then that's something that we can take a look at. But my heart goes out to anybody that's going through right now, and those of us that are working in middle class and hardworking individuals, it is hard out here. I think that the state health insurance is going to hit everybody pretty hard in January. So all of us are feeling it in some way or another, and we just wanted to make sure that we share it with the citizens, the things that we're thinking about and what we want to do, and working with different townships and working with the Department of Social Services so we can get resources and things out, to the citizens.
Yeah. Yeah, our church hosts one here in Jackson through them also, and I was told just last night that the amount of food they brought this time was way less than normal. But- Exactly. Yeah, it is,
And we do have a list, again, with my resources, we do have a list of the different food banks and the days that those food banks and contact numbers or email address as well. So like I said, please, if you want a copy of it, contact social services, dial 534-5811, press number 1 for English, 2 for Spanish, and then press 0, and you will get to the secretary, and she can assist you with, this.
Ms. Taylor, before you sit down, give me the number again of the people we have. How many people do we have in Northampton receiving?
So we have, okay, so families, I can tell you approximately families is 2,464. That number is embedded
Okay.
in my head.
In my head, I want to make sure.
So with that, some households may have one person in it, and some may have 9. So it just depends. So we say, somewhere at least 4,000 or more citizens from Northampton County receives benefits. We do have so this list is not totally accurate because this one right here, we got this today from the state, but it says like total cases for Northampton is 2,201, and that's not accurate. And it says total participants is 3,992. So with 2,201 cases and 3,992 participants, we know that the actual amount is at least 2,464. So we know that that amount is higher than that 4,000, so that's why I said 4,000 plus, because we don't know the accurate amount because people have continuously been applying for food and nutrition programs. So, but it's more than 4,000 citizens.
people come on and off of cases
Right,
constantly.
exactly.
It changes from day to day.
Attorney Michaela, I was reading, I don't know if I read correctly, but I read something. Is there a general statute or somewhere in the Constitution that says that local governments are responsible for the people in their counties in feeding them and providing food if they are hungry or something? Do we have, I read something there. I don't know if I
I'm happy
read
to
it.
research that, Commissioner, but I'm not aware of any such requirement.
Okay, but I will share with that what I read. I could have been late at night, but I don't know if I read something about local government might be responsible for feeding. I don't know about contingency funds or something. Maybe it was late and I read the wrong thing, but I'll share it with you.
I'm happy to look into that. I'll
Okay,
do it right
will
away.
do, will do. Because if we got all the money that Mr. Tashina said we got lying around, that's more than enough to feed everybody. So,
No, don't.
all right.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
But as Ms. Vincent said, and I had the same conversation at our church, a lot of the food banks are short supply right now too, because of cuts. So what you might rely on to make up some of the differences, not got resources. But we can look into some of your ideas.
Definitely, so yeah,
and
yes,
start
yeah, definitely,
legwork, and then maybe
bring it back, yeah,
the next meeting or something.
that sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. All right, the next item on the agenda is Health Department matters. Yes, Ms. Gatlin, you're going to present that.
I received information from Megan Vick, Health Director, and it reads as following. WIC information. The coordinated message that we have been instructed by the state to share with the public and our WIC participant is, NC WIC is operational and remains open for business. We will send out additional information if any changes to WIC operations are required due to the ongoing government shutdown. Assuming that redemption levels remain stable with ongoing incremental funding, WIC can operate at a minimum through November the 30th. Behavioral health resources and an excellent resource is Trillium Health Resources, in which Northampton County is one of the covered counties. Their contact information is listed below. This information will also be posted on our county website. http www.trilliumhealthresources.org. We will post this tomorrow morning. Monarch Mental Health Clinic also has a mobile unit that services Northampton County and is set up in the parking lot of the DSS. The information is listed below, which will be posted on our county website also, https://monarchnc.org. Thank you.
Okay. So for any people that didn't quite get that, WIC is in place through November at least. Okay. The next,
Mr. Chairman, also, while we're talking about health department concerns, the state of North Carolina has not passed the state budget yet, and we're all aware of that. And so when you look at the teachers, the teacher assistants, bus drivers, and things of that nature, if you've been following along the news, insurance rates are they're astronomical beginning January the 1st. For instance, the 70/30 plan, typically $33 a month, and the 80/20 plan, which was typically around $66 a month, effective January the 1st, those same plans will be based upon income. So when you look at an insurance premium across the state, there's some serious conversation as relates to state workers about what can we do about these premiums. And right now, that answer is nothing. But when you look at where we are, when you look at health department matters, so insurance rates are actually quadrupling for state workers come January the 1st, where you may have been paying $66 a month, you're going to be paying, depending on your income, up to $233 a month. And for the 70/20, up to $106, which has been traditionally $33 a month. But all that has come down the pipe, in addition to shutdowns and astronomical insurance premiums, and it's just getting some difficult times, even when it comes to being covered with health insurance. And just wanted everybody to be updated on that. As we get these messages, we'll definitely relay.
thank you. All right, tax department matters.
Good evening. I'm
Good evening.
before you with two requests this evening. The first one is to attain the board's approval for 21 ad valorem tax appeals. And I have need to make a correction on that. It says on your paper $6,264.88, but it should be $7,995.55, as it says on the spreadsheet. Okay, just wanted to note that. I also bring before you this evening 14 motor vehicle appeals in the amount of $1,177.29. These are not action items.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Mason? If not, thank you for
Yes,
presenting
sir.
that, and we'll take action next meeting. All right. That is all the items on the agenda. It's now time for county manager and board comments.
Good evening again, Commissioners. I just have a couple of things I just wanted to update you on. Leslie and I had our audit meeting on today with our auditors, and that's going well. The audit is due on December 31st. That was changed from October 31st by the LGC on last year. So we've got less than 60 days, but we're in good shape, knock on wood. We plan to have our audit done on time. Capital improvement planning. I sent out the email, as I've done for the last couple of years, to the department heads about our SIP plan. We update our 5-year SIP plan. Department heads update their SIP plan every every year around this time. It's kind of like the beginning of the new budget season. So we sent that email out again tonight stating to have your SIP plan updated by close of business on January 3rd, which I believe is a Friday, first Friday in January. So that gives them over 30 days to basically update their plans from the year 2026 through 2030, I believe. That's 5 years. And sent an email out to Commissioner Edwards and Commissioner Martin tonight also that, you know, I thought it would be great for us, the Board of Commissioners, to sit down and have a strategic budget and planning meeting in January or early February, so that, and it was just a coincidence that it was brought up tonight, because that email, unless someone's reading my emails, for the purpose of the commissioners stating what are your goals, what are your expectations for myself, for the departments, as far as capital improvement plans or the budget in general. What we've done in the past is we basically just left it open to, hey, call the county manager and tell them, you know, what your desires are. This way we can have an actual sit down and discuss what it is that we want for the county, and all agree on, here are some of the things I want you to emphasize in the budget this year. So when the budget message comes out this year, that'll be part of that budget message that, you know, all of the budget was compiled with this included, the information that was gathered from the commissioner's strategic planning meeting. I'll get with you guys at a later time, or Ms. Gatton will probably do a poll to see when you all are available. I like to do that on a Saturday morning like we've done before. So we can just let our hair down and just jump into this. And the Emergency Management Department is planning a mass casualty incident on Thursday, November 13th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Garysburg Community Center. I signed up, I registered to join them on that day, but my thing is I just want to observe what they're doing. I went to the training and they told me to basically just stay out the way and let those people do their job. You know, so, but I've been involved in tabletop exercises from operating a emergency control center. So I'd like to see what they all do here in the county. The pickleball RFP will be posted in the media on tomorrow. So that's going out, and that's for the 2 pickleball courts. And I think that's all I have for tonight. So I just wanted to say again, thank you, citizens, for coming out, and I do appreciate your comments. And again, I have an open door policy. If anytime you need to see something, discuss something, call me up, leave a message. I will get back to you, and we can arrange a time to come in and meet and go over whatever it is that we need to go over. That's all I have for tonight. Get home safely.
Thank you. All right, we'll start with Commissioner Whitaker, to my right.
I'd like to say good evening to everyone. And October was definitely a busy month, and I know there was a meeting or two where I couldn't be with you all due to some work obligations. But nonetheless, I always enjoy getting out in the community and fellowshipping with our citizens, with our youth. And so October 22nd, had the opportunity to participate in the trunk or treat that was up and at the Wellness Center, and it was an awesome time, and I really enjoyed myself, and that really put me in an environment where I could really converse with families and for them to be able to talk to me or whatever the case was. And then also, there was a candidates forum in Rich Square on October the 23rd that provided an opportunity for individuals that were seeking election for mayor as well as town commissioners. The citizens had an opportunity to come out, ask questions about what they would like to see for their community, and so it was a great turnout. And a huge shout out to the committee that put that together, as well as all participants that came out, because we really felt like it made an impact. Rich Square also had a fall festival on October the 24th. I got a chance to participate in that as well. It was an awesome event. A lot of families came out, and we had a lot of county worker support. And so it was an awesome time. And again, as much as we can get out into the community, we definitely should do that. And then also on last Thursday, there was an economic development and a small business panel that took place at the Rich Square Town Hall. And a shout out to the Economic Development Department, Derek and also Shannon, who came out and answered questions for citizens. And they were able to explain to our citizens why we have a lot of things that are going on in economic development. They explained the why as to we can't disclose those things at that time. And so the citizens were very appreciative of it. There was also a presentation on how the town could be beautified and different grants and things that we could possibly qualify for, as well as an opportunity for the Small Business Center from Roanoke-Shawan Community College that presented information as well and resources that they could direct some individuals to who may be interested in having a small business. And so we feel that these things are critical to have in our community. I'm very appreciative of those events to that nature, because we need to get as much information out as we can and to let citizens know just what they're able to have access to. Also had opportunity to participate at the Jerusalem's Women's Day that was on third Sunday in October. And so again, I just appreciate the invites. I appreciate serving you all. And I definitely can't end without saying that we appreciate just the open dialogue. We do realize that there are sometimes we're going to have difficult conversations, but as long as we can respect boundaries, speak to each other in a respectful tone, and stay away from insults, we definitely can move forward productively. So to the comments that were made tonight from the citizens, I definitely appreciate your comments and those, and also the accountability piece about action steps, not just talking, but taking actual steps to show you all how we can make these things happen. So again, I hope everyone has a wonderful evening and a safe drive home. Thank you.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. And I would like to say one thing. I was brought up in a community that said thank you. And I'd like to say thank you each time that I get a chance to these employees of Northampton County who give it an effort to make this a better county. Thank you.
Ms. Broadnax Taylor.
I'd like to say to everyone that came out, thank you, thank you. I'd like to also ask Dr. Gatlin, who put our packet together tonight. She has all these resources in the back for us. And my question to her is, Dr. Gatlin, these resources you put in the back, how are we getting these out to our citizens so they will have access to them?
They'll be posted on the website tomorrow.
They're going to be posted on the website tomorrow. Okay, these are wonderful resources that she has put together of shelters and resources that make sure that our citizens have access to them. Tomorrow is voting day in our municipalities, and I want to encourage you all to get out and vote. I'm going to spend my day tomorrow going to different municipalities to see how that will go and to be support. And lastly, let me say this to our citizens. In times like these, remain encouraged. Remain encouraged. And remember, things don't happen, we make them happen. We've been through hard times before, and remember what they say, yea, though they slay us, we will continue to trust in him. So go home, relax. Tomorrow is voting day. And remember that together we can move mountains, but divided we can watch it all fall. And you are remembered and important to us in Northampton County. So have a good night.
Mr. Vice Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just want to echo, tomorrow is local elections. Local elections will be held. Please remember that and go out and vote. And very important day coming up on November the 11th, Veterans Day. When you look across this country, nothing's free. Men and women fought diligently in many wars for us to be sitting here this evening across this great country, the United States of America. So let's please remember our veterans on November the 11th, because freedom is not free. Freedom comes at a cost. And we are strong in unity in Northampton County.
Absolutely.
Lifelong citizen here from Jackson, North Carolina, right up there beside East Side School. And to our citizens, we must remain strength-focused and keep our faith. Have a good evening.
Just to follow up on the Veterans Day, that will be, weather permitting, in front of the courthouse on the 11th at 11 a.m. So if anybody can make that, I've been in the past, it's always a nice ceremony. Also would like to share upcoming Saturday at 1 o'clock at the Church of the Savior, the Episcopal Church. There'll be a dedication for a historical marker that's being put up for the author Medvin Beguen. Representative Rodney Taylor helped get that approved.
Rodney Pierce.
Pierce, excuse me, Taylor. Rodney Pierce helped get that approved, and so that will be dedicated this Saturday at 1 p.m. So if anybody would like to attend that, it'll be at the Episcopal Church here in town. Also tonight, I noticed when I was coming in, it was already getting foggy. So I don't know if it's gotten worse or better, but be careful on the way home because it was foggy already when I was coming here tonight. But thank everybody for coming out and have a good evening. Could I get a motion to adjourn?
Move we adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Barnax Taylor.
Aye. Motion's carried. Meeting is adjourned. But yeah, I mean, it was